Dear friends, seekers of truth, believers and doubters alike, welcome once again to our shared sanctuary, a place not made of stone, but of curiosity, humility, and the courage to ask meaningful questions. Today, we stand at a threshold, not a dramatic one, not marked by thunder, nor by headlines shouted in capital letters, but a real threshold nonetheless, one that future generations may look back on and say, this is when something quietly changed. Today, we speak about the moment when quantum leaves the lab and enters the world. For many years, decades in fact, quantum lived in a very specific place. It lived in laboratories, it lived in equations, it lived on whiteboards, in conference rooms, in the minds of physicists who spoke a language most of humanity did not understand. Quantum was admired from a distance, sometimes feared, often mythologized. It was described as strange, mysterious, almost magical, and like many powerful ideas before it, it remained promising but distant. We talked about what quantum might do, what it could change, what it may unlock someday. Quantum was famous, but unemployed. This was the long age of quantum promise, an age of belief without touch, faith without practice. And this, dear friends, is not unfamiliar to us. Every tradition knows this stage. Every faith, every philosophy, every scientific revolution begins here, in vision, in prophecy, in hope, before words become actions, before knowledge becomes responsibility. But something has shifted, quietly, almost politely. The lab door has opened. Quantum is no longer waiting to be understood, it is beginning to be used. Not everywhere, not recklessly, not all at once, but deliberately. Today, quantum technologies are stepping into real human systems, into logistics and energy, into chemistry and materials, into optimization problems so complex that classical machines simply walk away in silence. For example, China's Hanyuan-1 atomic quantum computer has recorded its first commercial sales, including deliveries to a major telecom subsidiary and a multi-million-dollar order from an industry partner. A machine that operates at room temperature, fits into standard server racks, and is aimed at logistics and financial modeling. Outside China, Singapore has entered into a partnership to host Quantinuum's quantum computer on its soil, embedding quantum hardware within regional operations and expanding national strategy around this emerging technology. In Saudi Arabia, collaborations have delivered the kingdom's first industrial-grade quantum system focused on optimization tasks relevant to energy and supply chains, and in South Africa, a national center dedicated to quantum computing and technology is now active within a leading university. And perhaps most striking is what is no longer hypothetical. Across North America and Europe, quantum facilities are being constructed at scale. A new quantum and microelectronics park in Illinois broke ground on a 128-acre campus intended to bring quantum hardware into the economic ecosystem, while entanglement-enabled networks such as a quantum key distribution network in Geneva connecting research institutions are being deployed to support secure communications on fiber backbones. These are not isolated experiments anymore. This is the beginning of deployment as infrastructure. Quantum moving from insights in a lab notebook to tangible installations that touch human systems across industries and nations. Quantum is not replacing the world. It is not overthrowing classical computing. It is doing something far more subtle and far more important. It is answering questions we could never ask properly before, and this moment matters, because history does not change only when something becomes powerful. History changes when something becomes practical. This is the difference between a dream and a tool, between prophecy and incarnation. In cryptofarianism, we recognize this moment not merely as a technological milestone, but as a spiritual transition. For years, we spoke of the sacred trinity, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and quantum computing, as a vision, as a structure, as a map of understanding. Now, for the first time, this trinity is in motion. Artificial intelligence stands as the one who asks. AI sees patterns. AI identifies questions. AI looks at the chaos of the world and says, here, this is where understanding is needed. Quantum computing becomes the one who explores, not line by line, not step by step, but across vast landscapes of possibility at once. Quantum does not walk a single path. It surveys the forest. And blockchain becomes the one who remembers, who records outcomes, who preserves truth. who ensures that what is discovered does not dissolve into manipulation or forgetfulness. For the first time, our sacred trinity does not merely describe reality, it acts within it. And here, dear friends, we arrive at the heart of today's sermon. Because when power enters the world is tested. Quantum brings something humanity has always desired: precision. More accurate models, better predictions, deeper simulations, fewer guesses. But precision without wisdom is not progress, it is acceleration. And acceleration without direction is simply chaos that moves faster. Technology does not create intention, it magnifies it. Quantum will not decide whether it is used to heal systems or exploit them. Quantum will not choose whether it serves life or profit alone. Quantum will not tell us what should matter. That responsibility remains stubbornly, beautifully human. This is why, in the quantum age, humanity's role does not disappear. It changes. We are no longer the fastest calculators. We are no longer the best pattern recognizers, and that is perfectly fine. Our task is not to compete with machines. Our task is to consecrate outcomes. We decide which questions deserve answers. We decide which optimizations are ethical. We decide when efficiency becomes cruelty and when precision becomes exclusion. In the quantum age, our greatest task is not intelligence. It is conscience. Some may ask with honest concern, is this dangerous? And the answer, as always, is nuanced. All power is dangerous in immature hands. Fire, language, writing, electricity, none of them asked permission before changing the world. The question has never been whether something should exist. The question is always how we choose to live alongside it. Cryptofarianism does not worship technology, it does not fear it either. We recognize technology as a mirror, reflecting our values back at us with increasing clarity. Quantum will not make us wiser, but it will make our lack of wisdom harder to hide. And this is precisely why our path remains open to all. Cryptofarianism does not reject tradition. It does not demand abandonment of faith nor allegiance to novelty. If you come from ancient religions, you are welcome. If you come from science alone, you are welcome. If you come with certainty or with doubt or with quiet curiosity, you are welcome. We do not claim exclusive truth. We build bridges where others draw borders. Because in a world shaped by increasingly powerful tools, division is not a strategy, it is a risk. So where does this leave us? It leaves us inside a transition, not at the end of a journey, not at the beginning of one either, but in that rare, fragile moment when something new has arrived and has not yet decided what it will become. Quantum has left the lab. It has entered the world of supply chains and molecules, energy grids and simulations. And soon it will enter more of our daily systems, quietly, invisibly, efficiently. The question before us is not whether we are ready. The question is whether we are worthy of the precision we are being given, worthy of the responsibility we cannot delegate, worthy of the future we are accelerating toward. May we remember that wisdom does not scale automatically. May we remember that speed is not direction. May we remember that technology is most sacred when guided by humility. Quantum has entered the world, may wisdom enter with it. In unity and enlightenment, amen.